Good Thursday morning to you. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and this is your outlook for August 21st, 2014. And we're going to have a lot to talk about today. First, starting with our weather in our area, and I do want to touch on Invest 96L, which is also a growing concern in the tropics. And I want to kind of shed some light on that system here and why we can't really start latching onto these things you're hearing out there just yet. I do think it develops, but there's a lot of uncertainty involved with that, and I'm going to be talking about that here at the end of the video. First, starting out today, we have a system up to our north here that's going to be pushing to the southeast from the Great Lakes, and we're going to have some showers and thunderstorms that are going to break out generally mid-afternoon through mid-evening across our coverage area from northwest to southeast as they push through. And some of these storms could produce some locally heavy rainfall, some gusty winds up to as high as 50 miles per hour, and some frequent lightning. It's been a while since we had some thunderstorm activity in our area here, and actually it's been a while since we've had any weather period. It's been a very benign pattern, and hopefully for those of you that have been missing out on it are going to get their fill of it today. I don't think it's going to be talking about severe weather so much, but we will have some thunderstorms and some frequent lightning producers are possible with some of these storms as well. So here's a look at storm initiation here. This is later in the afternoon on Thursday. I'm just going to put this a little bit forward. It's going to initiate mostly across northeast PA, but you'll see they'll consolidate here and then start moving off to the southeast after that point. So looks like everything's just heading east here, right? And then all of a sudden, nope, and starts heading southeast and hits the Lehigh Valley and then heads further south into the Delaware Valley, and then finally dies as it gets closer to the coastline. So we are looking at these storms to move through here, and some of them could be on the stronger side, again, producing some frequent lightning and heavy downpours with this system. After that, we're going to have some leftover showers, we think, on Friday, but not a big deal. This is going to be a total washout. This is just like just some spotty showers here and there, and more hit or miss variety, not a total washout for any given location. One thing we are going to do is take the rain out of the forecast for Saturday. I know some sites have been talking about all this rain we're getting Saturday. I haven't seen it for the last couple days, and personally I don't know where they got that from. But you have high pressure that's sitting up here to our northeast over New England. This is going to be nosing down to the southwest, so it's being forced. Everything is being forced southwest of the area here. Even whatever little bit is here, it's light anyway, is being forced to the southwest of our coverage area. So I don't think we're going to be running an issue with anything on Saturday. Maybe a mixed clouds and sun, but mostly cloudy, more clouds than sun, I should say, on Saturday. And then improving conditions. Best chances for those improving conditions would be for our northeast locations, northern New Jersey, northeast PA, and then working its way southwest throughout the day with a decreasing clouds. And then here's a look at Sunday. Later Sunday here, you got the high pressure again, still moving, nudging down to the southwest from New England. Actually from the Gulf of Maine, going to be moving down to the southwest, and will be giving us a nice dry weekend, we think, for both Saturday and Sunday. The better the 2 days will be Sunday as far as more sun is concerned. And then when we get into Monday, this high pressure is going to be sitting right over top of our coverage area, so you're going to have bright sunny skies. And then you get to the 24 hours later, same deal. Bright sunny skies, high pressure doesn't move. It sits right over our area, and this actually forms like an over-the-top ridge here, and I'm going to get into that in a second here, because that's going to be important as far as this tropical system is concerned and what it does down the road. But this is what is going to be is what we're going to be dealing with as we get into early next week. Just high pressure and nothing but bright sunny skies over our coverage area, and temperatures will be moderating back to near normal levels. Okay, now let's get to the potential tropical system. This is one look at one of the models here that's just really blowing this thing up as it goes north of the Bahamas. And now everything, if you remember, if you were following along yesterday, and I didn't discuss this in the video, and it was for good reason. It's really at max range, and it's probably too early to discuss it now, but there's been a lot of things going on the internet that are some true, some false. If you don't hear from the National Hurricane Center, it's probably not a good idea to start panicking again. I understand some of these social media sites like to go nuts with these things, but if it's from a trusted source, okay, but there's nothing officially from a trusted source right now. And yesterday, everybody's panicking. Oh, we're gonna have a Katrina-like storm hitting New Orleans. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know where you're getting this stuff at. Yeah, there was one model that did have a strong hurricane hitting New Orleans yesterday. The models have since backed off. Now everything is at Florida or on the eastern side of Florida, doing one of these numbers here like this, or everything's coming east of the far east of the Bahamas and doing one of these numbers coming up and then recurving. Now, a couple issues I have with this. First of all, it's way too early. We don't know exactly what the track's going to be yet, but there are some clues we can start looking at. Here's first the GFS we were showing today. This is the one that hit the eastern half of Florida as at least a strong tropical storm coming up the coast here. Not quite as amp as the Canadian image I just showed you. And finally, we have the European model. Now, one of the things I was talking about before was this over-the-top ridge. One of the things the Canadian and the European model do is they take a system that's down here and take it up like this and recurve it, both the Euro and the Canadian. But I'm not really sure exactly how it's doing that. Before I get to that, we're going to go to the image itself. This is actually the loop image here. Now, this is going to keep looping here. I'm going to see if I can stop this here. Okay, your main system is actually down here. You have a vortex that's actually to the northeast of this system here, and the models are having a hard time figuring out which one's which. Which one is the main system? You actually have, so you basically have two systems here, and it's trying to determine which one is going to be consolidated into one and make one low center. And some think it's going to be this one down here, and other ones think it's going to be this one up here. Although this one looks more impressive right now, I would think, and typically the ones on the northeastern side here usually win out just because you have better convergence going on with the trade winds over the top. You're closer to the trade wind, so you would get a little bit more organization normally with this system becoming the dominant feature. Now, the reason that's important is here's the Lesser Antilles right here. These are the Lesser Antilles Islands. These are your just east of Puerto Rico here. If this one becomes a dominant system, it'll end up going through the Caribbean, and then you would have a threat for the Gulf of Mexico or Florida. If this one becomes a dominant system, it could head north of the islands, north of Puerto Rico, and then eventually it could end up being something that goes here. I'll go on the interactive radar here. That's probably a little bit easier. Here's our two systems down here. One, and the vortex to the northeast, 2. Whichever one decides it wants to take, and it's probably a little bit too far south here, whichever one it wants to decide to make the dominant feature will determine what the track is. If this is the southern one, it would favor a Caribbean track, something like this, or maybe over Cuba and something like this. Okay. If it wants it being this one, it's already starting north of the islands, so it goes just north of Puerto Rico, east of the Bahamas, and then does something. It could either recurve or could do one of these numbers. I mean, there's a lot of things it can do. So one of the things that are going to be key to that is what we showed you in the early part of the video. We were talking about the high pressure over the top. That's going to be that was shown in the GFS. The European model has that as well. This big ridge over the top. There's this. This is basically going to act as a block. This thing can't really go anywhere. So this would typically, if it did take this northern path, my thinking is they could end up doing one of these numbers here. But, you know, we don't know that. It's a little bit too far away, and this is all speculation. But if you have this kind of block over the top here, this would be favorable for a landfalling system. Something either like the GFS has, eastern side of Florida or in the Carolinas, somewhere in here. Why this is important, why I'm wasting so much time on this, is if it does wind up taking a track here, east of Florida, you could have some impacts of our area here with some heavy rain and wind. Not as windy as it would be on a tropical landfalling system, but it could definitely disrupt our weekend plans for the following weekend. Or, you know, maybe if it's, depending on the timing of this, it could be something earlier in the weekend where we could be affected with some heavy rain. So, and people have a lot of travel plans coming up for the Labor Day weekend. So we want to make sure that we're on top of this system here. I don't think this is going to be one of those things that come up here like Sandy or this big monster and take a left turn and hook in. Nothing like that. We're not talking about anything like that. It's way too early to call. We're just trying to show you what the differences are on these models and why they're all over the place. And it's just too early to really come up with a solution at this time. We'll talk about more a little bit as we get closer tomorrow, but right now this is what we're looking at. And sorry for the long video, but I just wanted to make sure this was covered for as far as the hurricane was concerned. Please follow the Facebook page today for any rapid updates with any thunderstorm activity that we're expecting for later in your day on Thursday. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is your outlook for August 21st, 2014. Have a great Thursday.